we run it back, man. You guys know how we do, man. Sometimes we have technical difficulties, but we just make it do what it do. Because my peoples come, rain, hail, sleet, or snow. KnicksFanTV Nation is the best. And as I said, we're here at Summer League. It's been an incredible past couple of days. I got in here Monday. I've been covering the team, had a chance to cover the team. Some of you guys have been locked in to the channel. Are they saying you got it? Mic audio's good? All right, because I'm getting feedback. Hang on. Check. I can, yeah. But I got feedback in the check one, check two, check one, check two. How's it now? All right, should be good now. Check one, check two, check one. All right. Check one, check two, check one, check two. Mic volume is low. You got to turn the mic volume up. Check. Sounds a little bit low. Check. Check one, check two, check one, check two. All right, we turn right here. Turn up the head. Down on the left. Oh, how's this? Check one. Got you. That should be good now, right? Check. Think we're good, right? Okay. All right. So we had to shake off the cobwebs, shake off the technical difficulties. We're good, man. As I said, live and direct from the Blue Wire Studios here at the Win in Las Vegas. Salute to Knicks Nation, CP the franchise here, checking in. Here for Summer League, Knicks in action, the young Knickerbocker squad in action. But as always is the case in Knicks Nation, as the world turns, never a dull moment. Yeah, we're here for Summer League, but the rumors are swirling. The smoke, the stove is getting hotter. The smoke is there. Leon wants to bring the Spida home, man. And I got a chance to see Leon, Tibbs, Jim Dolan at the games, and the whole CAA mafia. You know, Rick Brunson. Everybody's there looking real chummy, looking real happy here in Las Vegas. And maybe they know something. Because as we've heard, the Knicks and the Jazz are talking Donovan Mitchell, man. They're talking Donovan Mitchell. The Spida has been made available by the Utah Jazz. Danny Ainge, the owner Ryan Smith, D-Wade, that whole contingent. Look, they're looking to rebuild. And we saw that with the Gobert trade, sending Gobert to the Timberwolves, and now the Spida is available. And we talked about this yesterday, the pros and the cons of a Donovan Mitchell trade. And, you know, I gave you guys my perspective. My perspective is this. If you're not putting R.J. Barrett in a deal for Donovan Mitchell, you got to pull the trigger. Obviously, it's not a by any means necessary situation, but you got to go get this guy. This is a 25-year-old, three-time All-Star. 24 points per game in the regular season, ups it to damn near 30 in the postseason. He's a guy who you want the ball in his hands in pressure situations. Now, the numbers kind of speak to the contrary. You know, last year in the clutch, he wasn't so clutch shooting. You know, 37% field goal percentage, 22 from three. That wasn't so great in the clutch. His assist numbers were up. So as a playmaker, he's going to make it happen. And he's still a guy that defenses has to respect. They have to know where he is. They have to account for the threat that is Donovan Mitchell, because he's still efficient at the mid-range, still efficient at the rim. And that's something that we just don't have, an element that we just don't have. 25 years old. Took his team to the playoffs 4 years in a row. In the West. You know, they were the number one seed in the West last year. You got to make that move. Another reason why you have to make that move is what this regime has showed us through the hiring of Tom Thibodeau, a coach who wants to win right now, in a market like New York, starving to compete, starving to contend. They're not just going to go through the draft. They've been patient. They've been building through the draft and getting quality picks late, finding value late. But ultimately, Leon Rose was brought in here to bring in that star. And with the signing of a Jalen Brunson and what they did at the draft, punting to acquire more picks down the road, it signaled to us that they're not going to build this thing through the draft. It is going to be via trade. Maybe you're able to free up cap down the road and get some free agents. But with Brunson in here, a lot of you guys were questioning the direction of the team. Are we headed to no man's land? And it's a legit question to ask. So with that being said, if we're not going to build this thing through the top of the draft, where, in my opinion, the superstars are, not guaranteed, but for the most part, look at history. That's where they are. If we're not going to be bad enough to be in that position, you got to take a swing. And even though the fit is questionable, even though the questions about the defense are there, all valid, you got to take a swing. If you're going to bring in a Brunson here, you're going to commit to RJ. And guess what? A 25-year-old Mitchell, a 22-year-old RJ, a young Jalen Brunson, that's still a young team. And if you have to part with some of your young role players, so be it. If you have to part with some of the many draft picks that you have, you got to pay to play. The hope is that you still have depth. You still have some youngsters here that can help you compete. And getting Spida Mitchell here isn't the end-all, be-all, right? This isn't the move where we expect to just jump to the top 3 of the East. Let's just be realistic. That's not going to happen either. However, it is still a stepping stone to build. Yes, the fit with Brunson is questionable. It is still a stepping stone to build because you have Spida Mitchell in tow. Whether you want to argue he's going to be a 1A, 1B, maybe he can bring in the next guy. Maybe he can bring in that next guy to pair up with RJ and see where you can go. It's a start. You know, a lot of you guys are knocking this guy, oh, his defense, oh, Brunson exposed him, oh, this, that, and the third. I feel like we're grasping at straws. How many times are we going to sit back and wait? How many times? Let's wait for LeBron. Let's wait for KD, Kyrie. Let's wait for Zion. Let's wait for this guy. Let's wait. They don't come. They're not always available. If you have the opportunity to go get Spida Mitchell, you go get him and go get him now. If the price is right. And if we're not putting RJ in that deal, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Some people say this is, the Melo deal all over again. I don't really see it like that. Because when we did the Melo deal, yes, we gutted our depth. We didn't have a young draft pick that was still here with us to pair with Melo. Yes, we did get Porzingis later on, and obviously things fizzled out there. Melo wasn't here to realize the Porzingis goals. And to me, a big issue with the Melo trade wasn't that, we gutted the depth. Yes, that was part of it, but Amari Stoudemire being a max contract and not being available to help this team rapidly declining over the course of his contract, that hurt the team a lot. Nevertheless, they still made the playoffs several years during Melo's tenure here. So I don't necessarily see it as a Melo trade all over again, depending on what you give up. But the point is, if you have the opportunity to get Mitchell here, you go get him. Because it's not guaranteed. Some people say, well, the fit's questionable. Wait until another star can come here. That's not guaranteed either. And by the time that comes, think about some of the other teams in the league that have the leverage and the better younger players and the better draft capital, the Houston Rockets. Once Sam Presti wakes up and decides to make OKC a winner again, when will he consolidate some of his many young premium picks? Maybe that'll come. I spoke to somebody here connected to the league at some league, talked about Presti, and he said, yeah, we're sitting there watching Chet and Giddey run roughshod out there. Nice combo. And the guy said, yeah, these are nice guys, but when will Presti actually be looking to win. Orlando with Paolo. There's going to be teams. It's not just going to be the Knicks that are going to be sitting there with capital and young players to go get a guy. So now you have an opportunity to bring your hometown kid back home where he wants to be. Look at all the evidence. I mean, the guy's walking around here with New York everything. He's showing up in the Mets game with Mets gear. He's at the Rangers game. He's at the Rucker Park. He's on a flight to Vegas yesterday in New York Liberty gear. And shout out to Red Holtzman, part of Knicks Twitter community, whose cousin was on that flight with the Spider, who did ask him if he's coming to the Knicks, and Spider's response was, "We'll see." So clearly, there's something there. Salute to Knicks Nation, man. We got 2,000 people in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. We're in the Blue Wire studio. Shout out to my Blue Wire guys in the back room. Check out the backdrop, man. We're loaded in here. This is Vegas. This is Vegas. Go hard or go home, man. So definitely shout out to everybody who's here to put this together. But this is just the start of the show. That was my opening monologue. But when we got to get down to the nitty-gritty and get some answers, I send out the bat signal, and there's a guy who I could always rely on that's going to come through for us, and that's my guy, Ian Begley, basketball insider for SNY TV. Ian, live and direct from Las Vegas, man. Thanks for joining us, man.
CP, I love the studio, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Blue Wire studio. We got the custom-made backdrop. Shout out to Gamba, who's been a valuable asset to our team. But definitely thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it looks great. When I first logged in, I was like, is CP in the boom boom room? I saw the highlights and everything. It looks good.
It's looking great, man. Appreciate it, man. So, yeah, as I said, obviously we are out here in Summer League, but the Mitchell stuff has taken us over. What's the latest that you're hearing in terms of the trade and, any trade packages that have come about lately?
Yeah, CP, I don't know. You guys might have lost my picture, but can you still hear me?
Did we lose Ian?
You got me?
We got Ian?
Can you guys hear me?
Okay.
You guys can hear me. I'll work on the video, but
okay, yeah, go ahead.
The latest that I was hearing was that the Knicks and the Jazz, they had been in touch even before the Knicks had finalized their free agency contracts with their free agents. And now, the Mitchell Robinson deal, I don't know when the Knicks tweeted it, but the contract was on the books or fully announced today. But I think they announced the deal a couple of days ago. But before that, they were talking, and the Jazz had asked for a lot, and they had asked for a package that included Mitchell Robinson and other players and at least 3 first-round picks. And the Knicks thought that was just too high. Like they didn't want to go there. And so I know the Athletic reported that the Knicks and Jazz touched base I guess 48 hours ago at this point. And what I see when you look at the full board is I think that the Jazz, they can't have Donovan Mitchell on the roster going into training camp. My read on it is they're looking to, play for the draft next year. So I think they'll be motivated at least by the deadline of training camp. And you've got Miami and you've got the Knicks interested. And I think depending on how things shake out, I know some people with the Nets like Donovan Mitchell a lot, see him as a potential acquisition. So the Knicks are going to have competition, but Utah, as we noted a couple of days ago, their focus is on draft picks, and the Knicks can offer more draft picks in a trade than just about any team in the NBA. So I would think it's a cat and mouse game right now. It's figuring out who's going to come off of the hard stance they're taking and who's going to meet what Danny Ainge wants, or is Danny Ainge going to come down a little bit? But I think that's where we are, just kind of figuring out who's going to blink first and who's going to seal the deal, whether it's Miami, Brooklyn, the Knicks, or maybe a mystery team. But I have a hard time seeing the Jazz start training camp with Donovan Mitchell at this point.
Now, you mentioned Brooklyn, and today's news kind of shocked me in that DeAndre Ayton signed an offer sheet with the Pacers. How do you think that impacts things? Number one, on the KD front, but a possible Mitchell to the Nets. A lot of people speculated that there may be a 4-team trade between the Suns, the Pacers, the Nets, and the Jazz to make that happen. But now Ayton signs the offer sheet with the Pacers. How do you think that impacts things?
Yeah, in a big way. I mean, listen, that takes that avenue out of those multi-team deals that everybody was, kind of speculating on. And then with the Nets, obviously, you can't trade for Donovan Mitchell and have Ben Simmons on your roster. NBA rules prohibit that. So you're looking at needing to move off of Ben Simmons if you want to acquire Donovan Mitchell if you're the Nets. And you just lost a potential avenue in Phoenix to create that multi-team deal. So it definitely changes the board a little bit when you talk about all these teams with the moving pieces. But in another big picture sense, Utah, I think, was a team that was mentioned in those multi-team situations as well. And you look at where they are now, and it seems like they're more lined up for two-team deal, one team and them with Mitchell, and maybe Miami could get a third team involved if they can try to acquire extra draft picks. Maybe that bolsters what they can offer Danny Ainge in a Mitchell deal. I'm sure Danny Ainge is going to hold out until he gets very close to what he wants. I do believe that the Knicks are comfortable with the idea of giving up a couple of their young players and a significant amount of picks if it means getting Mitchell. And I think just, again, it's about meeting somewhere in the middle for these teams. And the other thing with Brooklyn in general is I'd heard they were having a hard time finding teams that would help them facilitate those multi-team deals, whether it was a Durant deal, an Irving deal, a deal where Mitchell ended up back in Brooklyn. I'd heard that there was teams that they had found that teams were pretty unwilling to help them facilitate those moves. So just an interesting time for both pro teams in New York right now.
No question. And we're talking to Ian Begley, NBA insider with SNY TV. Salute to Knicks Nation, KnicksFanTV Live, presented by Manscaped, live from Las Vegas. Ian, we did lose your video. The guys in the control room are saying if you can just drop out of it and hit the link again, we'll get your camera back up.
Do that.
Yeah. We need Ian live and on video, man, live and in living color. There's J.R. Smith walking by the studio. I don't know if you guys were able to see him. He probably didn't have him in the shot, but that boy Earl is in the building here in Las Vegas. Shout out to J.R. Smith, doing a lot of big things. Brian, just let me. Okay, so we got Ian back in now. Ian, the Knicks did go out and they got Jalen Brunson, and you wrote an article in SY speaking on the fact that this was going to be a big acquisition for Leon Rose's legacy here with the team. Now Spida Mitchell comes into the picture. From your perspective, did you feel like, this was always a plan to get both of these guys, or did the Knicks kind of rush into the Brunson thing, given that, the fallout from Utah was gonna lead to this thing breaking up at some point?
Yeah, listen, we all knew Donovan Mitchell was on their radar, and so, but I was skeptical about their ability to get Donovan, and I was skeptical about Utah's, willingness to engage the Knicks on Donovan. But now, you see where things are at the moment, and I guess my skepticism was unwarranted because they're here and they're in the middle of I have a pretty good chance, I think, of landing him via trade. So I don't know if it was always the plan to land these two specifically in this offseason, but we know these players have been on their radar. And, now I think you're Leon Rose, you've delivered at least in part on the idea that you were going to bring a big name to the Garden if you land Donovan Mitchell. Is it the perfect pairing? No, but I don't think any pairing that you were going to bring in, given where the Knicks are coming from, was going to be perfect. It puts you in a really strong position if you show that you're an ascending team and bring in somebody else at some point. So to me, the Brunson move was a make or break move for Leon Rose, and it was about many things for me. One of them was, what happens next. If what happens next is you're bringing in Donovan Mitchell, to me that's a pretty strong move for this front office, and you've put yourself in a position where if things break right, you should succeed and at least be a perennial playoff team.
Okay.
Oh, brutal. I'm coming back.
We have Ian. Ian, you still there? Okay. We lost Ian's video again. Salute to Knicks Nation, KnicksFanTV Live from Las Vegas. CP the franchise here. We are talking to Ian Begley regarding the Donovan Mitchell trade rumors to the Knicks. We have Ian's audio back. We lost Ian's connection. So, okay. Yeah, so we'll see if we can get Ian back up here. But how do you guys feel in the chat with these Mitchell rumors coming about? No RJ in the deal. Okay, so yeah. All right, Ian. So just a couple more questions before we wrap. We were talking on the Mitchell trade. RJ Barrett contract extension, rookie max deal. Where do things stand between he and the Knicks at this point?
Yeah, I think there's still optimism on both sides. I heard that earlier in the offseason. I haven't heard anything to kind of dissuade me from feeling that way. I think that let's get through the Donovan Mitchell talks, whatever they end up as, whether it's Mitchell coming here or not. And I think then at that point, the Knicks have until the day before the regular season to get something done with RJ Barrett. I think that they're optimistic. I think Barrett's side is optimistic that something will get done. What the final number is, I don't know what it'll be. I would assume that it's somewhere less than a max, but I think it'll be solid money, and I think you'll get to a place where both sides are happy. That's the motivation right now, at least. I can't see any scenario where that changes. We talked a lot about RJ Barrett and the Knicks being really unwilling to include him in any trade, including in this trade with Utah, and I think that is still the case. At least everything that I had heard was, RJ being included. I think I'm not going to say that it was a uniform opinion through everybody in that Knicks organization that he, can't be put in this deal. But I'd heard that at least earlier today, that there was no appetite to put him in there. So to me, that tells you all you need to know about how the Knicks feel about what they can do with Barrett in terms of that long-term extension. I would assume too that there's a wariness of not getting something done before the season and letting Barrett play through year 4, go into restricted free agency, because a lot of that is out of your control. Obviously, you can retain him in restricted free agency, but the ill feelings that may arise. I think there's a hope to avoid all that and get something done.
KnicksFanTV Live, presented by Manscaped. CP the franchise here. We're talking to NBA insider Ian Begley of SNY TV. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Ian, last question for you. The Mitchell Robinson and Jalen Brunson contract terms were revealed, and both on descending deals as the years go on. What are we to glean in terms of how those contracts were structured and how that sets the Knicks up for the future?
Well, I think that what you're looking at here is a couple of years down the line, the new TV deal maybe kicks in for the league, and then that increases the salary cap, and that puts the Knicks in position to take more advantage of that increase than they would have if they structured the deals as ascending, as most deals are. So this, to me, seems like the Knicks looking ahead and seeing that cap number potentially raising up very high in the next few years, and being ready for that scenario. And also, listen, if things don't go well on some of these deals and you're looking to get out of that deal later in the contract, it becomes an easier contract to deal, obviously, if the numbers are descending. So there are several reasons why that's a team-friendly move. And to me, I haven't seen much of it from the Knicks in the past, I guess. So I would credit the cap people with New York, I guess, starting with Brock Aller, for that happening. And to me, it makes a lot of sense from a team perspective. So kudos to them for getting it done. Obviously, Brunson, the player option, that's great for him. Gives him some flexibility. Hartenstein, I think 5% trade kicker, which is not super significant. But nonetheless, seems like well-structured deals for New York.
Absolutely, man. Well, Ian, man, I always appreciate you giving us some time, man. We want to throw the bat signal out there. It's a very busy time right now. Appreciate the time you've given us. Ian, your boy CP the franchise was back in the locker room getting some player interviews after the Knicks Summer League game. I was on the beat like Clark Kent, man. You would have been proud of me, man.
I like it, CP. I like it, bro. I only hope that one day we could both be in the garden in those locker rooms asking questions together. I hope, fingers crossed for that. But I can't wait to see what you dug out of that locker room, Clark Kent style. Salute, my friend. Always great talking to you.
Salute to you, man. Enjoy the weekend, and looking forward to hopefully some breaking news soon. Thanks again, Ian.
Thanks, CP.
All right, that was Ian Begley, NBA insider at SNY TV. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys, man. Number one show for the fans by the fans in the building, dropping some insight, dropping some intel on the Spida Mitchell trade. We got J.R. Smith out here on the outside. Brian, I don't know if you guys got a camera out there, but it's J.R. passing through. We're here at the Wynn Resort and Casino here in Las Vegas, live and direct, man, from the Blue Wire studio. Beautiful, beautiful state-of-the-art studio that we have back here. Custom-made backdrop. Ian Begley in here. Come on, this is a standout show. Hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Shout out to Gamba the Bard, $20 super chat. He says, CP with the new digs. You got to hit the Kenny Smith run up to the big screen. Hashtag KFTV squad. Yeah, that's a fact, man. Definitely got to do that. TM, if you're in the chat, just throw a slow-mo mode on the chat just to slow it down a little bit. But I see a lot of my regulars in here, man. DJ Tiggs 13, my guy Ron from Baltimore in here. All the mods, John Talento, the Shells, the Rhyme Animal, Chuck D, never misses a show. 3,000 strong. Let's get it going. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take your calls also, and we're going to talk about the Knicks Summer League game as well, man. So the show's just getting started. Let's bring in my guys because they're back in New York, even though I'm in Vegas, but I didn't get a chance to get their reactions, their opinions on this Spida Mitchell trade talks. So let's bring in my guys. We got JD and Alex ready to go? Okay. All right. Yeah, we're just waiting on JD to get his camera on and get that going. It's been a great time. It's all right. Let's bring Al in while we wait for JD set up. Al, how you feeling, man?
Feeling pretty good, bro. Look at you. Look at you behind the table with the nice backdrop.
Check out the digs, man. Yo, your boy's been going in since Monday. Business, pleasure. You know, we went out last night. We went out on the town a little bit, man. Gonna go out after this. After this I'm done. After this, I'm done. I'm putting the laptop down. I'm going hard for the next 24 hours until I got to get out of here. And but now it's been a great experience, man. Ran into so many people. Yo, I ran into A-Rod today, bro.
Ooh,
me and A-Rod were chopping it up.
Yankees, let's go.
Yeah, little Yankees action, man. Tayshaun Prince. So it was great, man. But anyway, give me your thoughts.
You do a little talking for Anthony Edwards. How about that? Come on, because he's a part owner for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Come on, man. You got to start getting the wheels churning.
A little bit, man. I didn't want CAA to get mad at me. I'm not trying to ruffle feathers, But give me some thoughts on Spida Mitchell, man.
Look, man, after listening to Ian, and he's pretty confident that this deal may go through. Yeah. Wow. That's, when Ian says that, you got to take that pretty seriously. Yeah. But look, the trade's out there. The trade rumors are out there. You see that Danny Ainge is looking for some of the young players, You have Quentin Grimes, whose name is being circled around. You're seeing Manuel Quickly, Obi Toppin, Cam Reddish. You're seeing he wants, the reports are saying that he wants a majority of the picks. Of the 8 picks that are available out of the 8 of the first round picks that we have of 11. You may have seen my tweet. I'm risk management when it comes to trading all those picks. All right. I don't want to trade the entire thing because you're still going to need to help build down the road. Yeah. If you do get Donovan Mitchell in this house. So like 5 picks, you want to say you go trade like three of New York's owns, 2 unprotected, 1 top 5 protected, and then 2 of the other picks that we got from either Milwaukee, Detroit, or whoever. That's fine with me. And if you want to throw in you got to take like Evan Fournier, Cam, probably Quentin Grimes, because I look at it as we need to keep another guard on the bench, and so ideally you keep Emmanuel Quickly. Ideally you get to keep a good core of these young guys because as you were talking about for the Melo deal. You don't want to give up everybody because then it's just going to be something so similar, man, where it's just the starting unit and the bench is just dry.
Yeah, one player, it'd be hard to give up IQ, man, and even Obi. But Quentin Grimes, that'd be a tough one, man. Nobody's untouchable. Obviously, if we lose Grimes, we got to get Cam in there. We need defense. We need defensive versatility. We're losing, positional versatility out there with 2 smaller guards. It's tough to lose Grimes, man. Definitely tough to lose Grimes.
I know, and because he has like the defensive versatility, and we saw it tonight. Look, and even his handle's getting better tonight, right?
Yeah.
We're seeing the behind the back dribble,
Yeah.
driving down the lane, drawing the contact. Like that's stuff that you like to see. I know we're overreacting because it's summer league. We got to see it happen in an NBA game, but you see that he's been working, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see him and McBride have been working. So we should. I think a lot of people outside of the fan base should have some optimism to what these guys could bring to any team if they're involved in a trade. But like I said, it's tough, man, because you think about what type of depth on this team that you need. And I'm just thinking if you're going to have guys like Brunson and Mitchell, you want to give those guys a rest as primary ball handlers, and then you want to bring in someone like Emmanuel quickly because Quentin Grimes, I mean, we have, even though we're starting to see some of that, his combo dribble moves, his ability to play make, his ability to attack the rim, his shot is there, of course, but I'm always thinking about somebody who's going to handle, who's going to lead that. It's kind of like Mayo Cookie. Everyone keeps giving the Lou Will type moniker.
Yeah.
Why not keep someone like that around, especially if you're thinking about trades for Donovan Mitchell?
Yeah, you got to hope so, man. Absolutely have to hope so. For me, again, as I said, you have a chance to get the star at what I would consider, and we'll see what the final terms are, a fairly reasonable price. We have a lot of picks. Even if we have to part with 5, we still have picks to go. And you can still continue to build. But the point is, right, we're trying to build that big 3, so to speak. We feel like RJ, even though it's not clear what his ceiling is going to be, maybe it's a 2 or 3, we still feel like he can still be a 20-point-per-game scorer, right, or capable of doing such. Came on strong to finish the season. We know he's got to be more efficient. We know he's got to work on his pull-ups, and which is why I wouldn't give him the full rookie max extension. I'd probably go 5/150. So that's a start. You bring in Donovan Mitchell, that's another start. But that's not the end-all, be-all. It's not the end-all, be-all. That's just a couple building blocks. But put it this way, I like our chances with the Donovan Mitchell, RJ Barrett unit of your core than what we have right now. So what are we talking about? Go get them.
I feel you. But let me ask you this. Are you worried? Because everyone's talking about the defense. They're talking about how small of a backcourt it is. Yeah, I get it. You got Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson back there. And then when you look at the East, right, you look at the two teams, probably the 2 teams, in my opinion, at the top of the food chain in the Eastern Conference. You got the Boston Celtics, who we just saw in the NBA Finals this year, and their length and their depth. You got Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart in that starting rotation. That's a big lineup that you got to face if you're the New York Knicks. Yeah. And then you also got the Milwaukee Bucks, right? You got Giannis Antetokounmpo, you got Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday. That's a big lineup too, And even right now, the guys still haven't been traded out of Brooklyn, but that's another team that you got to worry about. Yes. Right. New York with Donovan Mitchell would be a playoff team, no doubt about it. But do any of those teams concern you, considering when it comes to the defensive need for this team? And like we have Tom Thibodeau, defensive-minded head coach. We've heard throughout this entire time he doesn't like playing 2 small guards. Now Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson are exceptions. We're talking about guys that can go get their own buckets. But does that scare you at all, especially against the competition we got in the East?
Absolutely, you have to be. Look, Utah was able to make it work with Conley and Mitchell both being that size, but Conley was a way better defender, right? So, and yet they still had their problems in the playoffs. We understand that, but they were able to make it work. That's on Tibbs. I brought Tibbs in here as part of the CAA Mafia. You're supposed to be a defensive mind. You figure it out. I'll figure it out later. Bring him here. It doesn't mean that you go forward with your team. It doesn't mean that this is set in stone. Maybe you move Brunson in a couple of years. Maybe you move RJ in a couple of years. Maybe you move so. We'll see how it goes. I still like where they can go with him than without him, depending on the cost. And if you're going to tell me that you don't have to put RJ in the deal, I'm fine with it. Because these draft picks, all the people that are concerned with the team being stuck in no man's land, this is why you go out and get them. Because the chances are, if you're going to be picking 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th in the draft, maybe you pluck out a star. Maybe. I don't see it. So you go take a risk, and you bring in a Donovan Mitchell. Guys, we still have – do we have JD's audio? I know JD's video was a little off. So, okay. All right. JD, if you can hear us, I don't got his audio. I know his video was off, so Okay. All right. Well, if he jumps back in, just let me know. We'll just rock with me and Al right now. So, that's my stance, man. That is my stance. We can't just sit here and say, let's wait. It's not the right fit. Everybody's just looking for the perfect thing. You're not going to get the next LeBron James by sitting back and waiting. Now, again, if they would have decided many moons ago to sell on Randall at his peak and pare this thing back and go the Presti route, then I would say a Mitchell thing doesn't make sense. But they're not going that way out. They're not going the Presti route. They want to try to continue to compete. And if they're going to do that, then you go get a Mitchell, or else, yeah, you do run the risk of being in a no man's land situation. So that's my 2 cents in it. Fellas, let's go to the to the Tim Legler soundbite. Where would the Knicks end up in the East if they were able to pursue a trade for Spida Mitchell? Let's go to the Tim Legler soundbite.
How much does Donovan Mitchell?
I think we lost the sound on Legler. Let's run that one back.
That the New York Knicks then would be a team that's guaranteed to be in the top 6. I think they're somewhere in that play.
All right, we're gonna work on the Mitchell soundbite. What do you guys think in the chat? Leave me a comment in the chat. Where would the Knicks end up this year? Say this year, this upcoming season. If they get a Spida Mitchell, you don't have to trade RJ. You still have let's say you still have Grimes, or let's say you have Cam, you have Obi, you have Julius still here. Where do you guys think?
Now that much, but he gives them upward mobility they don't have right now.
All right, so I think we got the Legler. We have the Legler audio? Okay.
But here's the real question. How much does Donovan Mitchell make the Knicks climb rungs in the ladder in the Eastern Conference? If we're being honest about it, I think they're still probably a play-in team. I don't think that the New York Knicks then would be a team that's guaranteed to be in the top 6. I think they're somewhere in that play-in format. As good as Donovan Mitchell is, and he's an elite-level scorer, I don't know that he moves the needle in terms of making the Knicks a contender. They would still be another, I think, either good, very good to great player away from getting into the upper echelon of the Eastern Conference. It's just too good at the very top. And then there's teams in that 5-6 spot. When you look at Toronto and Chicago, I don't even think the Knicks necessarily would be better than them.
I agree with you completely, Tim, but to your point earlier, he is a star, and he could attract potentially other stars down the road. The Knicks have been waiting to get that first star, Donovan Mitchell being available. That is why it's important to them. He doesn't lift their ceiling right now that much, but he gives them upward mobility they don't have right now.
That's why I like Tim Bontemps. In 5 quick seconds, Tim Bontemps was able to quell all that Tim Legler nonsense. This is why you go out and get a Spida Mitchell. As he said, it's a start. You have to start somewhere. You have a chance to go get an all-star. Now let's talk through this, Al. Let's talk through this. Miami finished first in the East. You got to figure, they'll be in the top 5. Do they get KD? Let's see. The Celtics. I definitely like what the Celtics did this offseason, getting Gallinari and Brogdon, adding some nice veteran pieces, solidifying their depth. You got to figure Boston will be up there. Their defense, they're going to run it back. Their defense should be stout as it was. The Bucks. The Bucks were a team who, to me, with a healthy Middleton, would have won the whole thing last year. I think they would have won the whole thing. They added Joe Ingles. They're going to be running it back. You got to think that they're going to be locked in top 3, barring any injury. Sixers are going to be there. Embiid, Harden, a motivated Harden. They just picked up P.J. Tucker. They got DeAnthony Melton, solidified their defense. They're going to be there. Raptors, you got to respect them. Van Fleet, Siakam, the Rookie of the Year, Scotty Barnes. They finished 5th last year. You got to expect that they'll be there. Do they get KD? So you got to expect them to be there. So now you have 6, 7, 8, 9. You got the Bulls, who I don't really think is much of a big deal. The Nets, we'll see what happens there. Do they run it back with KD? Do they trade? You know, there's still a lot of question marks with the Nets. The Hawks with DeJounte Murray. I like that pickup. I think the Hawks will be in consideration. You got to figure the Cavs will be there. Another year with Garland and the Twin Towers running it back. You have the Hornets, the Knicks. Look, I think the Knicks with Mitchell, I think it's anywhere between 6 to play in. I really do. I think it's anywhere between 6 to play in. I think that's a ceiling next year.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they were like 5 or 6, honestly. I think the top 4 is kind of solidified, where you got to go with Miami. You got to give respect to them. The Celtics, absolutely. The Bucks as well. Philadelphia, for sure. Even Toronto, when you look at Chicago, I'm not really so sure what they can do. I mean, you talk about KD to Toronto. If that, obviously, KD would change, would tip the scale, of course, for Toronto. But even up to 5, I feel like the Knicks, with the Donovan Mitchell trade, they could still get somewhere around there. You know, this is a Tom Thibodeau-led team. You know, they're going to try to win every game possible. This team could be re-energized, especially when you get someone like Spida in the building. They could come out and play much differently than they did last season. You know, the concern obviously would be if you have a lineup of Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Donovan Mitchell, and Jalen Brunson, those are 4 high-usage players. I mean, yes, we haven't seen RJ get the usage he deserves, but it's still guys that all need the rock in their hands. Are they able to figure out how to coexist with one another? That's probably, if anything, the biggest concern, where you could say that's why they're still a playing team. And I feel like that would be the main reason. But if everything clicks, this team could easily be 5. Easily be 5 just because of the talent alone. I think offense, it just takes a massive jump to put them up into that top consideration.
Yeah. It's a year-to-year thing. Anything can happen. Like, that's why I say I think top 4 is probably a lock. Again, you got to see what Miami does. If they don't get KD, maybe they come back to the pack. Who knows? Celtics, I got to keep up there. Bucks, I got to keep up there. Sixers, healthy Embiid, healthy Harden. Got to keep that up there. My guy, what's Quickly's alter ego? What's his right-hand man?
Maxey,
that's my guy.
Maxey.
We got to keep the Sixers up there. Raptors, again, if they get KD, I think they got to be up there. If they don't, I think they'll still be up there with that team. I don't respect the Bulls. I don't think they did anything impressive in the offseason. They brought back Levine. They invested a lot in bringing in Vucevic and DeRozan. I think they're capped out. If Patrick Williams takes a step, maybe. But I still don't think they have enough depth to really be respected. And we match up well with them. We matched up well with the Bulls last year. So, Cleveland, you never know. They had a good season. So, as I said, I think it could be anywhere between 6 and the play-in. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take some calls, rapid fire on the calls. Call us up, man. 657-383-1509 is the number to call. KnicksFanTV Live, presented by Manscaped, live from Las Vegas, the Blue Wire Studios at the Wynn. We're going to take calls and take your comments on Spida Mitchell, man. What do you? Yeah. So Al, we're gonna have to we're gonna drop you off on the line so I can take calls, and then we'll pick Al back up to just to wrap up Summer League and wrap up the show. So Al, I'm gonna take a couple calls. We'll drop you off the line and I'll let you know when to jump back in.
Good.
All right. And speaking of Summer League, the Knicks did win 102-89 over the Magic, but it's Donovan Mitchell time. Let's get to the phones. Let me go to Ron from Baltimore. Ron, what's going on, man? Ron, do we got Ron? No. The switch. Yeah, the switchboard, not Discord. The switchboard. We got Ron's audio. Hang on, let's see. Ron, can you hear me now? No, we don't have him. Don't got him. All right, well, we're working on that, man. If you guys are new in the chat, leave me a hashtag, and we'll shout you guys out. It's a little technical difficulties, all good. We're doing this thing for the first time. It happens, man. But it's all in good fun, having a great time in Las Vegas, great time covering the team, talking Spida Mitchell.
Hello?
Yep, here we go. Is that Ron?
CP, what's up?
Let's go. Talk to me, man. We lost our guy, Alec Burks. How you feeling right now?
Oh, my God. Nah, he'll be fine in Detroit. Get some good pizza over there. I hope you have a good time after the show. You deserve it, man.
Oh, I'm putting the laptop down. I'm going out. I might go. We went to Encore Beach Party. We turning up. Maybe do some bottles, some foam parties or something, man. Well, I don't know. Figure it out.
CP, I've been with you since the beginning. I'm Latrell Sprewell is the American Dream on Twitter and YouTube. I've been with you, man. I've been with you from the beginning. So I'm with you, man. We got to get Mitchell. You got to do it. You got to be smart about it. So if Leon's got to sleep on it, if he's got to tell Donovan to tweet something out, force the hand, whatever we got to do. I think this is what I think I want to do, okay? Mm-hmm. Hear me out. I think let's give him 4 or 5 picks. I'm cool. At the end of the day, at the 24th hour, am I willing to give him 5 picks? Yeah. Am I going to love it? No. We have to keep RJ, of course. I'm very happy that they're saying, no way, RJ. I think we got to keep Obi and IQ. I like IQ. I'll pee my pants if IQ's gone. IQ's my guy. Anybody that hates on IQ's a loser. Okay, IQ's a good player.
That's my guy, man.
The rock, and he can play defense too. IQ, did he have an off shooting year last year? Yes, but he can guard and he's getting better. Obi will be fine. I don't love him with Tibbs, but Obi, if he's used properly, he's an explosive energy player. We got to keep him. Cam probably will go. Fournier's going to go. Rose is going to go because you got to make the money work. I think Julius stays. The question is,
Julius stays.
Do you give up Grimes too?
I'm having a hard time. Appreciate the call, Ron. I'm having a hard time putting Quentin Grimes in a deal. I don't know if it's because I did a nice post game interview with him. He's a good kid. 3-and-D floor. You need defense, man. We can't give up a staunch defender. This kid is gonna be a nice role player for us, man. That's hard. It's hard. Listen, when you do what we do and you're delusional and diehard Knicks fan, you watch every game and you watch these kids that they draft and attempt to develop over time. And as me, you get a chance to meet some of these guys as well. It's hard to see the team have to part with some of these guys, but that's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of the business. I remember interviewing Langston Galloway. Langston Galloway, who's a former Knick, he signed a deal with his hometown New Orleans Pelicans. By February, they shipped him off to Siberia to the Sacramento Kings. It's a cold business, man. It's a cold business. And I'm sure when they brought him in and they courting him, they're like, yeah, kid, it's your time. By February, he was up out of there. Pack your bags. That's just how it goes, man. It's cold world out here. Cold world. 657-383-1509 is the number to call. KnicksFanTV live from Las Vegas. CP the franchise checking in. Salute to Knicks Nation. We got 3,000 people, 3,500 people in here rocking with us. Technical difficulties and all. This is how we do, man. Once again, if you guys are new in the chat, drop a hashtag new in the chat. I'll shout you guys out. Definitely appreciate you guys rocking with us. And, yeah, man, very, very humbled and appreciative. Back to the phones we go. Let's go to Ice Water from BK. Ice Water, how you feeling?
What's going on, CP? What's going on?
Hey.
Out there in Vegas chilling? What's going on?
Yeah, doing all right, man. Doing all right. And nice state-of-the-art studio here. Talking Knicks. What's good?
Yeah. Looks good. Listen, we got to get him. I'm not that high on having a short backcourt, but listen, you got to get him. He's an all-star. You got to get him. And we just got to roll with what we have.
Yeah.
I think RJ will be fine. I think you get a guy like Spida and you got Brunson, I think that'll make RJ you always get better playing with better players.
Yeah.
And I think RJ will get better playing with Spida. I don't, if you got to give up the 5 picks, you got to give them up. But, we need some stuff. There's another move to be made. So we need some more ammunition for this next move.
No question.
So you can't give up everything.
No question.
And Julius is probably going to have to go at some point. I don't know if Julius is going to be able to handle, not being, I don't know. So,
That's a good point, man. Appreciate the call, man. He was about to drop on the 50 burger. How does Julius fit into the equation? Is a great question. From what we heard in terms of the trade parameters, they don't want him. So they don't want Julius in any deal. And so you're gonna probably have to give up Fournier. You might have to give up Rose to make the numbers work, to make the salaries work. With Julius, look, there's only one ball. You're gonna have a lot of high usage guys that's gonna want the rock. Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, RJ. At least we know in Brunson's case that he can play off of anybody. He just played off of Luka Doncic, who was the whole Dallas offense during his tenure there. So Brunson I don't have an issue with. He can sacrifice and he can play well off the ball. It's Julius. Can he stay engaged? Can he stay connected if he's not the guy? Can they play off of each other? I'm still waiting on the player that can make Julius Randle a better player. How do we not run more pick and rolls, pick and pop situations to get him more easier buckets, more shots in rhythm, create advantages for him so he saves himself? So you save him from himself. We'll see. And if it can't work, well, he's got to be the next domino to fall. Shout out to Francisco Aviles, Team Hashtag New. Will Alfred in here. How you feeling, Team Hashtag New? Got a lot of people in here, man. 3,500 strong rocking with us. Team Hashtag New, man. Shout out to Ice Water. We got to go rapid fire, man. We in the studio. You guys know the drill. We got to go rapid fire. We'd love to chat with everybody for a minute, but we got to go rapid fire. You guys know the deal. Will Latimer. Will, what's going on?
CP, what's good, my guy?
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I love the background, love the digs, man.
Appreciate it.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Got my hat today, Sam.
Oh, you got your snap. You got the KnicksFanTV snap.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, shout out to everybody that got theirs, man. I sent a
No
couple care
doubt.
packages out before I left for Vegas, so I'm glad you got it.
No doubt. Secondly, we got to get Spida, like I said earlier, for the right price. We can't give him everything, but we got to give him 25 All-Star from the Western Conference. We got to get him.
Yeah.
And one more thing, we getting these rings, CP, in this summer league. We're going to win this joint, baby. And I'm out.
102-89. Knicks get the Summer League dub. Will wants a Summer League championship. Hey, I told you guys I talked to Jaren Jackson. Jaren Jackson said he wants that chip. He wants that ring. He's not playing around. And quite frankly, neither are the Knicks. I mean, they're still playing at full strength. Magic did shut down Paolo. And, that's the thing about Summer League, too, is that as the days progress and continue, some guys get injured. You saw E.J. Liddell tear his ACL. That was a terrible moment for him. So they're not playing around. These franchises are investing quite a ton in some of these prize picks. And so a guy like Paolo, if you got a nagging ankle injury, they're not trying to have him go into training camp with that. You got to shut that down. So unfortunately, his season came to an end. His Summer League season came to an end. Jaden Ivey didn't get a chance. I was hoping to watch Jaden Ivey versus Benedict Mathurin. Didn't get a chance to see that. They shut down Ivey. But Mathurin looked pretty strong in his Pacers matchup. So, hey, that top 8 or so, and you talk about Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray's been beasting. Chet, Giddey. I mean, yeah, Summer League's been nice, man. So it's been a great couple of days, man. And you get to watch some quality hoops for a great price. You come in, you pay flat fee, you stay for the whole day. Catch 6-7 games if you want to go in like that. And it's a great time, man. Great time for the family. Oh, we got to go to my guy. This is KnicksFanTV Live, presented by Manscaped. We are live and direct from Las Vegas. Let me hear from my guy, Tom from Huntington. Tom, what's good?
CP, listen, I want to see that background every episode.
Hey, I might not go home. I might not go back to the studio, man.
I might
move back. I might move to Vegas, man.
Listen, you have a great time tonight.
Yeah.
Just don't get arrested. If you do, call me.
No doubt.
Listen,
no doubt. All right.
Really quick, I'll do rapid fire.
Yeah.
You know me. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the show. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Manscaped and everybody else. All right?
Yeah.
We got to get Spida. I don't care what anybody's saying. Watching ESPN earlier, it's irritating.
Yeah.
Like, whenever they show other teams, it's like highlights.
Yes.
Whenever they show the Knicks,
they show
it's like
bricks.
missed shots.
Yeah.
Like bricks.
The Legler segment, they showed bricks. That was such a setup, man. Come on, ESPN, man. Come on, man.
Why did they crap on us like this,
Yeah,
man?
they
It's
showed
like,
a ton of – they didn't want to show you RJ's 46-point game against the Heat or Julius going off during the West Coast trip or when they went off against the Lakers. They didn't want to show you that. When RJ dunked on LeBron and them, they didn't want to show you
Golden State too this year?
We did.
My thing is this, exactly. Listen, all they keep talking about is what we can't do.
Yeah.
Oh, they can't compete. Listen, this offseason is not to put us on par with Milwaukee. We're still building. We need assets. Get Spida in here. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
We need that. I mean, listen, last year we lost a lot of games that we almost could have won.
Right.
But people act like we're totally crap. I know we finished 11th or whatever, but listen, we're not that bad. I mean, we have talent. I mean, this is not the Melo deal.
That's right.
Make the deal. We'll figure it out later. Let's not worry about Milwaukee and these guys, with all these other teams, and let's just add talent, man. That's what we need to do. Let's make ourselves the team that makes these ESPN guys like look away and not want to talk about us. But anyway, I'm gonna let you go, man. Listen, I'm proud of the work you've been doing. Love the interviews. Love everything. Keep up the good work.
My God.
I'll talk to you soon, man.
Appreciate it,
Have
Tom.
a good night, man.
Always supporting.
Anytime.
Always supporting. Never misses a show. Tom will call in on KnicksFanTV. He called me up when I made my Sirius XM debut. So shout out to Tom, man. That's the type of support that I'm talking about. That's the type of support that we get here at KnicksFanTV, man. It's very humbling and it's a blessing, especially here at Summer League. You run into so many fans, so many KnicksFanTV fans. I ran into a guy from Dallas, from Arkansas. It wasn't Truth. It was another guy from Arkansas in the hotel. You're running into people at Thomas and Mack, KnicksFanTV fans. I got my guy Eugene, who met up with Eugene in the A, Knicks versus Hawks, Game 3, when I had the Knicks fan meetup party down in Atlanta. My guy Eugene came down from Brownsville, never ran, never will, but moved out to the Bay Area. Came from the Bay Area to Atlanta to come to the game, to come rock with KFTV. So, that's the type of love I'm talking about, man, and that's the support that keeps us going. So we definitely appreciate all the fans who come out and support us from all over the world, man. Throw your cities in the chat. Let me know where you guys are tapping in from. We got 3,600 people in here. Hit that like button. Throw your cities in the chat or your flag, whatever country that you're repping, and I'll shout some of that out. Back to the phones we go. 657-383-1509 is the number to call. Let's go to Jeffrey from Maryland. Jeffrey, how you feeling?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, doing well, man. What's going on?
Yeah, man. Just a quick question here for you.
Yeah.
Does having Donovan Mitchell alone, is his impact on the team's future more than having IQ, Obi, and Grimes?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has a problem giving up the picks.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what people is really weighing right now, like the potential of IQ, Obi, and Grimes in the future versus Donovan Mitchell's future here.
Who's the All-Star?
I mean, I guess out of all of them, none of them really. I guess Grimes has the best.
No, the All-Star is Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, that's
right?
true, yeah.
That's why you're getting them.
Yeah, that's true.
So you answered your own question.
Yeah.
Appreciate the call,
yeah,
man.
No, that makes
sense. Who has the most impact? Give me the guy who's 25 years old that made an All-Star team 3 times in the West. Led his team to the playoffs 4 years in a row. Yeah, you want to say Gobert was super impactful? Yes, he was. You still got to get buckets. Still got to get buckets. Who's going to do that? He'd be the best player on this team by a mile. Give me him and RJ. Give me him and Brunson. Give me some killers. Mitchell and Brunson attacking the basket. This is what Tibbs is looking for. Attack and spray. Now, defensively, we'll see. It's a bit diminutive. But offensively, let's get it going. Let's get it going. You got a chance to go get an All-Star, you go get him. Let's get Ari in here. Now, me and Ari have been squabbling back and forth on Twitter past couple of days. Typical tussles. CP and Ari tussles, man. We've been doing it for years, but let's go. Ari, what's good?
Yo, what up, CP? What up, everybody?
Hey,
bro, the fire backdrop.
Yeah, that backdrop.
Fire backdrop.
Yeah,
dude.
I might not leave. I think I might move. I think I might move to Vegas, man.
Tonight.
Yeah, I think I might move to Vegas. Once we figure out the kinks, man, it's a go. And Glenn Grunwald is walking by. Glenn Grunwald, how are you, man? Thanks for the Bargnani trade, buddy. All right, yeah, I just
God.
I just saluted Glenn Grunwald on great work,
Word.
Great service to the Knicks.
So somebody's got to. I wasn't gonna call in, but then I love you, Tom from Huntington. I love you, dude.
Yeah.
But I just heard you say, We need to keep building and assets and building the rebuild. So let's just trade everybody from Donovan Mitchell. It's counterintuitive. All right. Someone has to restore law and order to this chat right now. Okay?
Oh, here we go.
I want Donovan Mitchell.
Here we go.
I want Donovan Mitchell more than anybody. CP, I was telling you back in the day, he's the guy. I think he could be the guy on a team. I want Donovan Mitchell, bro.
Okay.
But the only argument I'm hearing from you, from anyone, is get Donovan Mitchell, get the guy, and we'll figure it out later. That doesn't do it for me, right? That doesn't do it for me. All right. So what I think is, I think you get Donovan Mitchell for the right price, and I think the price is significant. I think it's significantly less than what I'm hearing you say and Tom from Huntington say. And everyone say, I think it's significantly less.
Well, let me clarify what I said yesterday. I put the names I put out there in IQ, OB, Cam, McBride, so on and so forth. I'm talking about just on the premise that, number one, the Jazz are looking for guys on rookie scale contracts. So I'm giving you those names to say a combination of that. I'm not necessarily saying I'd give up all that plus the 5-6 picks. I'm saying a combination of those names.
Okay.
All right. So just to clarify, a combination of that. That's why I didn't put. That's why I didn't put Grimes.
I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but
that's okay. That's okay. My facts are my facts. But, however, were you not the guy who was calling in saying we're in no man's land? They won meaningless games in the draft.
Correct.
Were you not saying that?
Correct. I was absolutely saying that. What does that mean, though?
It means that this team is not building through the draft. It means that if you go forward with going to get Brunson with this unit of Randall and RJ, they're not going to be bad enough to pick out a premium, a Paolo Banchero out of the draft. They're never going to get there, and they're never going to be able to trade up from those spots. They tried to get Ivy. The Pistons laughed at the deal. They're not trying to trade that.
Right. I'm not saying that. Listen, for me, I would have tanked and ran it back with IQ. But you're right. They are stuck in no man's land. What my argument is my argument is you don't need to rush this decision. If you have the picks, there's always a disgruntled star that is available. Okay, and we don't even know what these players are. We don't know how good Obi is or how good IQ is or any of these guys because Thibodeau didn't play them. We're in the driver's seat, right? Man. We're in the driver's seat. We can wait. In order to get we don't have to pull this move right now. We can keep on drafting, adding assets, and then making a deal in a year.
So what you tell me is we got to go through another 82 games where you call in every day and say we're winning meaningless games. We're not going to get good enough picks. We don't have a star. Fire Tibbs. That's what you want to do. You want to go through for another 82.
No, I just want Julius Randle to get traded. If Julius Randle gets traded, I don't care what happens. I'm good with it. I want to maintain flexibility.
No doubt.
But that's it. That's my take.
All right. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate it. Ari, never satisfied. Let's see the tomatoes come through in the chat for Ari, man. You know, I never advocate for violence in the chat. I never advocate for those type of emojis for the tomatoes. But for tonight, I'm giving Ari tomatoes, man. Oh yeah. This is what we do. The guys in the control room said Ari fired you up. Yeah, this is our relationship. This is how it is, man. It's the odd couple. But that's my guy. Never satisfied. Always complaining. CP. Oh, they're winning meaningless games. They're never gonna be good. Look, Ari wants to go the Presti route. I've had no issues with going the Presti route. I believe. And that's what Presti said, look, this is going to be through the draft. You got to tank it up. I had no issues with them doing that. But the organization is telling you that they're not going to go that way. So at the end of the day, if they're not doing it, then take a swing. And let's see where it is. No, it's not the end-all, be-all move, but it's a start. That's all I'm saying. If you're going to bring in Brunson here, you're going to max out RJ or give him close, take a swing on something. Bring the Spida home. All right, a couple more before we wrap. Knicks did win Summer League 102-89. Not going to get into a crazy recap on that one. I missed half of the game. I had to come here and set up. So they did win. And good for them, man. 3-1 on the Summer League campaign. I have to see. I haven't seen the ramifications or what the playoff situation is looking like for the Knicks. If somebody has that in the chat or somebody in the Slack, drop that in there for me so I can see. I'm trying to research that. If they qualified, they should. I'm not sure when the next game is or if they qualified. So I had to leave the game early and jump on the show. But they did win 102-89, so good for them. So what we'll do is we'll take a couple more calls. I see the closer is waiting. The closer is waiting, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to take one more, and then we're going to get to the closer. Remember that the show is presented by Manscaped, man. You did hear from Tom from Huntington. Go to manscaped.com and a promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. Salute to our sponsors, man. So, support our sponsors if you support us for sure. Okay. Back to the phones we go. We're going to go across the waters, man. We're going to go to New Zealand. Let's go to T from New Zealand. T, what's going on?
Hey, CP, what's good, man? I'm in New Zealand by way of New York City.
I was about to say, bro, you definitely don't have a New Zealand accent, my man.
I'm an expatriate, man. I'm an expatriate. I'm down here representing, bro. I'm down here representing, doing my thing, trying to introduce these people out here to the unique blend of pain and pleasure that is being a Knicks fan.
Of course. Hey, we appreciate you being an ambassador, man. Appreciate it. What's going on?
Already. Now, let me get right into it. I'm going to keep it nice and brief. I'm calling you in New Zealand. It's the future here, man. I don't know if you know the time zone.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Friday afternoon.
Nice.
And I'm telling you, it's going to be the same as yesterday. This Donovan Mitchell trade, I'm going to tell you right now, Leon Rose knows what he's doing. This is a negotiation. And you got to recognize, I know y'all know in the chat, CP, I know y'all know, different front offices, they leak out this information to their benefit. Right, so we started at a high point, we work back, we meet somewhere in the middle. Donovan Mitchell has to be a Knick for the right price.
Yes.
Let's not blow our assets. Let's not, throw everything away. But them draft picks, just to say real quick, I know you're in there in Las Vegas. Bro, if I was Leon Rose, I would be Floyd Mayweather at the Bellagio. I would be throwing them things out. You know what I'm saying? I'll be throwing them things out. I don't care about those. I'm just trying to give me a good plan here. Okay. Real quick, Quentin Grimes, man, the playmaking acumen. Salute to QG, man. He's doing big things.
He's flashing it, man. Appreciate the call, T. Hold it down in New Zealand. My guy Q Dot is getting activated. I got a chance to speak to his trainer. His trainer is a big KnicksFanTV fan. Stay up with his brother. His brother is his manager, and I had a chance to talk to Q, and you could see it, man. And as his brother told me, he said, listen, he's just trying to work on being a overall solid player and contribute in a positive way to his team. Definitely like what I see from Grimes, and I have a hard time parting with Grimes in a Mitchell trade because I just think we need what he can bring. I think we need it. Knicks did win here, 102-89 over the Orlando Magic. CP the franchise here, KnicksFanTV Live, presented by Manscaped, live from Las Vegas, the Blue Wire Studios from the Wynn Resort and Casino. All right. There's 3,500 people in the chat. I have a feeling some of you are new and you haven't heard the closer. This is our guy. This is our guy that we go to like the Yankees go to Mo Rivera. I saw A-Rod today at Summer League. Shameless plug. This is our closer. Let's get to him. Wrap it up on a positive note. J Boogie, let's go.
Salute. 3 capital S's. Shout out to everybody out there rocking that orange and blue out there in Vegas. Shout out to the greatest people it is in the world in this chat. Constantly loving and supporting and appreciating and fighting and trying to get to our destination, our point. But you got guys like Legler and all them, they want to throw a monkey wrench in our situation. No, we're not going to have that. But first thing first, CP, you looking real beautiful out there. There's rumors being spreaded. They saying that, you know what I'm saying, you thinking about buying the Knicks and moving them out there to Las Vegas. But I tell you, if you do, it's going to be a whole orange and blue switch shift all the way over there and eliminate all that red and white they got for them running Rebels, man. Shout out to what you're doing. Shout out to my man Lex. Shout out to EG. Rocking knocking on boards, man. But this is what it is. Before I even go any further, shout out to Leon Rose, man, because Leon Rose is about to do the impossible. What's the impossible? Whoever thought that we'd go sit up there in Dallas Gym and go salute and watch both of these guys and bring both of these guys in New York to play in the backcourt in the same season. Shout out to that man. That's a power move.
Yeah.
That's what you call
That's
something
how
that
you
Pat
tamper.
Riley would do. That's big boy status.
That's Worldwide
big boy
West.
status for real, man.
Worldwide West pulled up to Dallas
do
and
your
said, "Hey,
thing.
I'm getting both of these guys over here. Let's go."
Both of these guys, let's do it. Let's handle our business. Let's do what we need to do, man. But you know what? Some of y'all don't want to see the situation happen. I don't know why y'all putting the whole up. I know everybody here don't seen that movie Baby Boy before. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But let me tell you, when Jody was talking to his man in the middle of the street, he was like, "Yo, look at everybody around here moving. Everybody making moves and getting money, and we standing here being broke."
Facts.
Guess what? We tired of being broke.
Facts.
Spider-Man, when are you coming home? We try to bring the Spider-Man home, you know
Let's
what I'm saying?
go.
Then we can deal with all the other things. We can fix it and put it together. See, when the Atlanta Hawks went and got that boy Murray, and they knew they was putting 2 point guards together, you know what they said? We'll figure it out later. Yeah, this is what we trying to do. We'll figure it out later. But we trying to get another point in the right direction. Nobody said we're going to win a championship next year. Nobody said we're going to the conference final. But one thing for sure, we're going in the right direction. And that's what everybody needs to stay focused on. How many times when we try to make a move, we always got to find the wrong reason, you know what I'm saying, on why we doing something. Why we can't find the appreciation reason on what we trying to do, you know what I'm saying? We trying to get up somewhere, and we got people like Legler want to pull us down, you know what I'm saying, for no reason at all. You ain't got nothing to do with it, man. You want nothing but a corner 3-point shooter, man. Let us handle our business and do what we got to do, man. I got 5 dudes in this starting lineup that I could put out there that's all hungry. Brunson got something he want to prove. I want my own team. I don't want to be on Luka's side. And I bring Spider-Man over here. Guess what? Let me play with a point guard. I ain't playing with a healthy point guard. I got something to prove. I love New York. I'm from New York. I'm trying to bring us on the back. What? Then I got RJ. Yeah, I got something to prove, man. Everybody that don't want to have me in the top 25 and younger, I got something to prove. Yeah, Julius, lost 11 pounds. I'm trying to get in shape. I'm trying to show y'all I apologize for what I do. I got something to prove. And Mitch got that money. You know what I'm saying? He got that 60 mil. I got something to prove. I got to prove to y'all that I deserve that. That's 5 hungry dudes right there. 5 hungry dudes. Matter of fact, put some 5s in the chat. 5 hungry dudes that's ready to go, you know what I'm saying? And we want to say, hold up, we ain't ready yet. We like all these picks. And forget all these picks. Leon been plotting and preparing this situation for a minute now, and we didn't even see it coming. And now it don't hit us, you know what I'm saying? It's time to... Man, when we get Donovan Mitchell right there, I don't care nothing about the Atlanta Hawks. I don't care nothing about the Charlotte Hornets. I don't care about the Chicago Bulls. I'm looking to be top 5 at worst at 6 because I got 5 hungry dudes that ready to handle the business. I ain't going to talk too much because I know Alex is in the background. He want to come forward and continue doing what he's doing. Shout out to that man. But God bless everybody. Continue on staying healthy and safe.
Yes, sir.
CP, while you out there, make sure you handle your business and come back and, you know what I'm saying, healthy and safe. Make sure you masking up and all that. Don't take nothing, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't like us out there. You see, they have Richard Jefferson referee. What you doing out there refereeing the game? Get up off the floor, man. God bless y'all, man. Have a great night, man.
And just like that, the closer drops the mic. Brian, you could come back to me on the solo shot. The closer drops the mic, ladies and gentlemen. Throw some 5s in the chat. Throw some fire emoji in the chat. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, that's how Jay Boogie, the closer, gets down. This is what we get. Win or lose, we go home with a sermon, with a message. I got some feedback. Okay, with a sermon and a message. So that was the closer, man. And that's, hey, listen, when you go through a lot of losing like the Knicks do, you need some encouragement, and that's what he does. Shout out to Jay Boogie. Shout out to Jay Boogie. 5s across the board. Fire emojis. Let's go. Hey, absolutely, man. He said it, When Jay Boogie drops the sermon, there's very few words I have after that. You can't step on it. You just got to let it marinate and let it rock. And look, I thought we emphasized the point here, man. I think this is something that you have to do. Yes, there is a price. No, you don't want to give up all your assets. Clearly, you want something to continue to build with, but you got to bring the Spider home. If it's not going to cost you RJ Barrett. And that is the bottom line here, man. Let me get to the Super Chats that have come in. A ton of Super Chats have come in. Let me get to those. Salute to all 3,500 people in the chat. Let me get to the super chats. Brian, you could hit me with the outro. Just turn it down a bit as I read some of these messages from our loyal fans. Shout out to Brandon Guest. He says, real G's moving silence like lasagna. Leon Rose. Corey Mitchell says, congratulations on all accomplishments, CP. I got a little feedback. Let's get Mitchell in here. Let ESPN Max and all the other clowns keep showing bricks and bad plays. I'm here for the smoke. Let's go. Corso 117, $20 super chats. It's Arias, right? It's us and Miami. If Miami wants to play a King's ransom, let them pay a King's ransom. Let them. Thing is, I don't think Miami's not going to have the draft capital that Ainge is looking for. No problem. No problem. I don't think Miami's going to be able to meet the price, but you can never count out Riley. So we'll see. Will Hooper, $5 super chat says, we say we trade Spida for Cam, IQ, and Fournier. Can we trade Randall for Gordon Hayward, who can shoot and play 3 of the 4 and start? Obi, what's your thoughts? I think I would never, ever bring Gordon Hayward to the Knicks to have him shoot anything. He's going to shoot me out of the bank with all that money he's making and not producing. I told you guys a long time ago, Gordon Hayward is not somebody that Darius Thomas, $10 super chat. Corso 117 once again says, no way I trade the young forward players plus 5 to 8 picks for Donovan Mitchell. Donovan drafted it at 13, actually at 11 by 10. Rather trade up in the draft for the cornerstone of a rookie deal versus selling the far Donovan Mitchell. Love Mitchell, but not this year. Rhyme Animal, Chuck D, salutes my mentor. Chuck D, $5 super chat. He says Donovan Mitchell is going to have some Bernard King level years if we get healthy and young. $20 super chats. It's a great setup for shows always. Let's get it. Let's go Knicks. Let's go KnicksFanTV. Let's go, and don't forget Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com and a promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. No testimonials. Dr. Blocktopus, an Australian super chat, says CP looking fresh in the studio for real. Keen to pull the trigger on Spida. And although I'm worried about the backcourt of Brunson is my only concern. Valid concern. My 2 cents says $10 super chat says Leon moved into this position. He won't get taken. We ain't won a damn thing in damn near 50 years. Donovan Mitchell plus what we keep equals further in the playoffs, attracts more talent, and makes us contend for real. Now you can only hope. Appreciate the super chat. Cameron Platt, $25 super chat says, what about keeping Cam to back up Barrett? Well, if you're going to lose Grimes, I can't lose Cam too. You know, nobody's untouchable, but I got to get some sort of defense in here. If I'm losing Grimes, I'm keeping Cam. If I'm losing Cam, I'm keeping Grimes. Got you open, says production on Super Blast. Get it, bro. Definitely appreciate that. Rhyme Animal Chuck D, $20 super chat. Says CP, we have liftoff. The franchise on the Knicks Nation Enterprise Superstar ship. Let's go. I think Tibbs will have these additions playing like never before if we get the chip we need for the chip at 62. This looks good. Money Mark, $10 super chat says, bring in Spida ASAP, no brainer. Shout out to this guy just got an alien emoji for a username here. So shout out to the alien. He says, CP, how do you feel about having Patrick Begley potentially being included in the Mitchell trade? All bark, no bite. I'm good on Begley, man. I'm good. I'm good on it. We got enough. We got if you're keeping Rose, we got Rose here. I'm good on Begley, man. That ship is sailed. We don't need the theatrics. We're good. Brock Mandanak says, when do you think the Spida deal gets done? Also, thoughts on Reddish. I would be upset seeing him go. Cam just needs more opportunity. Salute from the 717. What area code is 717? I'm not so sure. Salute to you. Reports are saying it could be days, it could be weeks. As Ian Begley said when he came on the show, it seems like Utah, wants to get this done before training camp starts. They're keen on tanking this thing up. So, sooner than later, and I think it will get done. Glockwork 718 says, we got to choose a direction. We either go all in on Mitchell or tank. I can't take too much more of being just bad enough to not get a pick. Take the swing. Take the swing. All right, people, this has been a great show. I hope you guys enjoyed it, man, live and direct from Las Vegas. I had a blast. It's been a monster week for this channel, for our wave, because we're wherever I go, I take the people with me, man. And that's just been the journey of KnicksFanTV, CP the franchise. And it's brought us here, state-of-the-art studio. Shout out to the Blue Wire Podcast Network. Shout out to my guys in the control room, Brian and the gang. We're working through it. Listen, man, I brought him into the life of CP the franchise. When you're producing one of these shows, it ain't easy. It's a lot of moving parts. And so, we had some technical difficulties, but it happens. It definitely happens. But the most important thing is that you guys stay patient and ride with us, and that's what occurred here tonight. So we definitely appreciate that support. Shout out to the Green Room as well. Some more Super Chats coming. Shout out Luwan Williams, $20 Super Chat. He says, get Donovan. Obviously, no RJ in that deal and keep Grimes. I'd keep Grimy over IQ and Obi. Lawrence Israel, $10 Super Chat, says, Danny ain't giving nothing to Riley if it's even close. Aaron Vasquez, $10 Super Chat, says, CP, that studio suits you. Proud, proud, proud. And shout out my guy, Ty Morris, $20 Super Chat, says, I'm volunteering to drive any Nick necessary to the airport to consummate this deal, except for RJ. So that's the story, man. I'm signing out. I'm going to take a couple days off, chill out a little bit, and refresh until the news breaks that Donovan Mitchell is a Knick. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Shout out to the replay gang for you guys watching. Once again, subscribe to the channel. Share these videos. Continue to support KnicksFanTV. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys, man. I'm out of here. CP the franchise. You guys have a great weekend. Peace.